You can put me on speaker. Yeah. Danny has been shot. And I don't think he's going to make it. And so, I know. So I found this out around 1 or 2 today, and I'm at the police station, and I'm trying to help them figure out who may have done this. The boys are fine. I had Lynn and Alan pick them up from school, and they're with Lynn and Alan right now. And I'm gonna leave here soon and go be with them. But I really need you to come here and be with me. But I want you to either fly, obviously you can't leave right now, but I need you to get.
Between October of 2013 and March of 2014, this is what our conspiracy map would look like. When Charlie decided to introduce Wendi to Katie on March 11th of 2014, that enabled Wendi to get Katie's contact information directly from Katie. I know some of y'all are thinking about the call records from Charlie's trial and how there was no correspondence between Wendi and Katie. The lack of correspondence between Wendi and Katie is not important. What's important is Wendi getting Katie's contact information from Katie herself. On June 4th, Sigfredo brings on Luis Rivera. A lot of people have characterized this man as an illiterate gang member who is already incarcerated for an unrelated crime. As we move along, you'll see how accurate or inaccurate that characterization is. For now, I'll just say that Luis Rivera is as gangster as one can get. Luis does not speak like a civilian. A civilian is someone who is not engaged in criminal activity. When you hear Georgia Kappelman talking about the Adelson using code or code words, that's not what Dato does. I'll translate this for you. At least one person involved in this did something really stupid. At first, no one other than Sigfredo knew I was there with him. I would have preferred that it would have stayed that way. He wasn't supposed to tell her. When I asked who knows, he should have apologized for telling Katie. But since he told her, she should know I'm in charge. When I asked him, does that lady know I'm in the car? I'm telling him I think she knows I'm in the car. But I'm also trying to get Sigfredo to tell me the truth about how she would know that. Since Sigfredo let Luis hear the conversation with Katie about the overall plot, Luis can contact Katie and vice versa if there's an emergency or if Katie can't get a hold of Sigfredo.
I want to ask you about a meeting with Wendi at a coffee shop that occurred on June 4th, 2014. Do you recall that?
I do.
What happened at the coffee shop?
We went to the Red Eye coffee shop to have coffee just to meet midday, and Miss Adelson canceled a trip that we had planned for July 11th to 17th to go see my parents, which was a big deal in the relationship, and she abruptly canceled it.
Did she offer an explanation as to why she needed to cancel the trip?
Not one that made sense. She said that she feared that we would not get back in time, and she emphasized, had to be back on the 18th to pick the kids up out of school, which would have been July 18th, 5 p.m., is my understanding. And I couldn't fathom why in the summer going through Atlanta you wouldn't be able to get back in time. It didn't make any sense to me.
So she was worried you could be delayed and she wouldn't be able to pick the kids up.
Right, and we had people who could babysit. It didn't make any sense at all, but that was what she said. That day was very important.
All right, and so that occurred on June 4th.
It did.
He was actively filing motions to conflict out people she was selecting as of when we went to dinner on June 4th.
All right, did you see her later that evening?
I did. I went to the house to hang out with her and her children.
And is that her residence on Aqua Ridge?
Yes, ma'am.
And how was she that night? This is June 4th, right?
It is.
Okay.
She was a nervous wreck to the point where she was sick to her stomach. Asked me to get to her house as soon as possible. She was in that much distress. And she didn't have food poisoning or flu or anything obvious. She was just a nervous wreck. So I went to her house, immediately went to the store to get her Pepto-Bismol and a couple things from the convenience store. I have the credit card receipt, is why I recall that so specifically.
And did you have any idea why she's acting? I assume this is unusual for her.
It was fairly unusual. The degree of severity was definitely unusual. But that whole week, June 4th to 9th, she was very nervous. So.
And she didn't tell you it was because killers were in Tallahassee to kill Dan Markel, did she?
No, I was stunned to later find out that there was hitmen in town at the time.
The people who Wendi was around on June 4th can help us understand what she was up to during that day. But when we get to July 18th, you'll see what she was really up to on June 4th. The job didn't go as planned on June 4th. Now Wendi has to take control of the situation. So Wendi has to get past Charlie to get closer to Katie without Charlie knowing. Then she has to get past Katie to get closer to Sigfredo without Katie knowing. As I said before, how she was able to do this would be answered by when she would be able to do it. June 15th, 2014. You may have seen Georgia Kappelman ask Wendi these questions, but now I hope that you can see the purpose behind them.
Do you know Catherine Magbanua, or have you ever met her?
I have met her.
Notice Wendi didn't answer if she actually knew Catherine Magbanua, but watch how she forces her into answering the question without being confrontational.
Did you have an independent friendship with her, or did you only know her through your brother?
I only knew her through my brother.
I don't know what it's called, but if you ever played Pac-Man before, you know how you can go off screen, but you don't stay off screen. You just emerge on the opposite side. That's how I would characterize Georgia Kappelman's line of questioning. If you go to the left, she's waiting for you on the right. Then you go back to the right and have nowhere to go, and you're stuck with whatever you're running from on the left.
Do you know Catherine Magbanua, or have you ever met her?
I have met her.
Wendi answered that she met Katie, but didn't want to answer if she actually knew her. Then she also didn't want to answer if she had an independent friendship with Katie.
Did you have an independent friendship with her, or did you only know her through your brother?
I only knew her through my brother.
She's stuck with answering that she only knew her through her brother, which answered Kappelman's initial question. Do you know Catherine Magbanua? I only know her through my brother.
Do you know Catherine Magbanua?
I only knew her through my brother.
How you know her isn't important. The fact of the matter is that you know her. Back to June 15th.
There's a photograph, I'm sure you recall, of you on the beach with Catherine Magbanua. Do you recall when that photo was taken?
I do. It was Father's Day. Father's Day 2014. So 9 years ago.
9 years ago, Wendi got trapped and made a weak attempt at distancing herself from June 15th being Father's Day in the photo that Georgia Kappelman's referencing.
June 15th of 2014?
That sounds right.
So about a month before the murder?
That sounds right.
Where was this photo taken?
It was in Miami. I went down to visit my dad.
This is her brother's trial, and she refers to their father as just her father. I don't know what you would call that, but it's at least worth noting. But what's really worth noting is that she's so focused on distancing herself and trying to look innocent that she forgot that June 15th, 2014 was the last time Dan Markel celebrated Father's Day. Now back to the photo that Wendi has already seen.
For Father's Day.
Approaching and showing you what I've marked as states 35. Is this that photograph, and I've attached the data associated with it?
Yes.
Looks like Wendi caught a glimpse of the data associated with the photo and realized the question she answered wasn't about the photo itself. It was about the immediate events prior to the photo being taken that made the photo possible. She knows she didn't randomly run into Katie at the beach. One of them had to contact the other to arrange that.
There's a photograph, I'm sure you recall, of you on the beach with Catherine Magbanua. Do you recall when that photo was?
Wendi was there to visit her dad. Do you see Harvey here? She most likely already visited with her dad. Wendy's kids are with Dan. Katie's kids are with Cifredo. We don't have the metadata associated with the photo to know exactly when and where it was taken, but the shadow on Yindra's ankle says it's around 6 to 7 o'clock. The beach umbrella on the right, along with the two structures on the left, tells us you are about there. Which puts you 1 mile east down the same road as your parents' condo. Wendi, you knew that Charlie would be with Harvey because you were there earlier, but you sent Katie a message on WhatsApp to meet up on the beach. Three single moms day drinking on Father's Day. And I see that Bank of America debit card. It's kind of blurry, but the first name on the card starts with a W. Three single moms day drinking on Father's Day and Wendy's paying. How was that arranged?
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time?
Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time? Did you have WhatsApp on your phone at that time?
You see how Charlie woke up when he heard WhatsApp? He knows. Watch Wendi answer that.
I don't know if in 2014 I had WhatsApp. Now we use it for all the parent chats at school, so everybody seems to have it, but I don't know if everybody had it back in 2014.
Wendi tries to distance herself and virtue signal with the parent chats, then dodge the question saying everybody.
What is WhatsApp?
WhatsApp is kind of an app you would use for texting.
Simple question, simple answer.
Do you know if your brother Charlie had it at that time?
I have no idea if he had it at that time.
Let's see if Charlie had WhatsApp at that time. This is obviously a screenshot. The 5 dots for the signal in the upper left-hand corner tell us that this was before 2017. The iOS update after 2017 stopped using the 5 dots for the signal. Katie had her breast augmentation in October of 2014, so the photo itself was taken prior to that. But this part right above the photo is what's important. I'll zoom in so you can see. The hex color for that is E9DBD3, which you can see is almost identical to EDE4DB. The hex code on the left is from the screenshot, but where's the one on the right from? It's the 2014 to 2016 background color to WhatsApp. This is how Katie spells Catherine. This is how Katie is spelled. Kadie is how she spells it on Facebook. But here it is with 2 Ds. Charlie took this screenshot of his WhatsApp after he paid for Katie's breast augmentation. The photo that was shared between Charlie and Katie on the app is prior to Katie getting that surgery. Charlie has consistently saved his WhatsApp chats on iCloud since at least 2014, so he and Katie had WhatsApp at the time of the murder. The feds have had a warrant on Katie and Charlie's iCloud since at least 2016. He had WhatsApp in 2014, so all his chats with Katie are in Charlie's iCloud. Wendi was using a separate device to contact Charlie and Katie on WhatsApp. Her messages with Charlie are in his iCloud from 2014 forward. From 2016 on, regardless of what phone she uses, the moment she contacts Charlie, it's probable cause for a warrant for whatever device she's using.
Did you ever communicate with Charlie through WhatsApp?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. If I had it at that time or if I had it later, I probably would have.
Just not sure.
Yeah.
Did you have any contact of any kind with Catherine Magbanua on the day of Dan Markel's murder?
No.
Did you ever communicate with her through WhatsApp?
No, I never communicated with her at all.
All right, let's talk about, well, you communicated with her on the beat.
I saw her in person, but I'm saying I never texted with her, called her. I never communicated via a device other than
in person. Okay.